So good evening, everyone, and everyone, hello, who's watching from replay. We are about to talk about menopause and perimenopause, and we've got a couple of people joining in. We have over 30 people, 30 women, I should say people, 30 women registering for this masterclass, for this webinar. And I know that life gets busy, so let's go on going. If you are watching from replay, then definitely let me know once you watch this from replay and let me know how can I support you or how can we support you. So for the time being, let me just tell you, like this is a recorded video. This is something that you can be part of. If you even watching from replay, you can always pop a question in the email and ask any questions that you have about perimenopause or menopause, or you can always go to menoclinicnz.com and book a free like a discovery call. So if you have any questions, not sure if you whether you are going through menopause or perimenopause, or whether you have some questions, specific questions that you want to ask, or whether you want to know how can I support you or how we can support you in this journey, then just really book that call. It's a free call. It's 15-minute call over phone or Zoom, whether you want to be, seen on a camera or not. And let me help you understand the path of perimenopause and menopause. So right now, just to do a little bit of a homework and not homework, just to keep things clean. If you have any questions, please put them in a chat. So the chat is open. If you have anything else you want to ask, and if you are watching from replay and you have questions that you wanted to ask, obviously don't put them in a chat because you're watching in a replay, but type them and send them in a message either on MenoClinic on Facebook or Instagram or through the email, and just let us talking and let me help you about menopause. So today is really about you, and I don't want this to turn into a lecture of me talking 60 minutes and telling you what to do, what not to do, but I would love to bring in a little bit of light of what actually is perimenopause, what is menopause, why is everyone talking about it right now, and why is it such a hot topic, and also how can you not to let yourself be not to be burned by some of the advice that is out there on in public on social media, and also how to not to be dismissed by practitioners, which one you are going to see or which you could have already possibly been to see in a past week or past month or past year or last few years, and you didn't get the answer that you needed to, or you felt more confused. So today is really about giving you the understanding of where you are, what is happening, and also what are the things that you can be doing for yourself. Because right now you might be just wondering, am I in perimenopause? Am I in menopause? Am I actually going through it? Or you might be in thick of that and already thinking, holy moly, I've had all these symptoms of sore joints and itchy skin and itchy ears, and I'm already experiencing weight gain that I don't even know where it's coming from. It's harder for me to fall asleep. It's harder for me to stay asleep. I've got this feeling of brain fog in my head every single day. I feel palpitation, I feel anxiety, and I feel my moods all over the place, and my periods are changing. So is this perimenopause, or is there something else happening? So let me introduce you to MenoClinic first. So MenoClinic is my response to the need to help women to understand and advocate for themselves in the way of the world that we are going through, the world of social media, the world of free information, and the world where we are unfortunately being dismissed because we're not trying hard enough, or we should just put up with the things how they are. So why is menopause and menopause in such a big thing right now? It's because first in ever, it's not even first in decade or first in whenever, first in ever, we actually have amazing, incredible research that is being finalized, that is being published, and we can finally build our understanding about what actually is woman's body going through when we talk about perimenopause and menopause. What are you actually experiencing? It's not just a random thing. It's not just a random thing of gaining weight because you're becoming lazy, or not sleep couldn't sleep because that's a part of your life. But we now know what are the things that are actually causing us to feel more sore, causing us to put on weight, causing our cholesterol to elevate, causing our insulin to be more resistant to blood glucose levels, and why and what we can do about these things. And I hear women coming to my clinic pretty much every single day and saying, I don't feel like myself, and I don't know what's wrong with me. And I've tried. eat well, not drink coffee. I tried all the things. I exercise so much. The weight is not coming down. I can't sleep. I feel anxious all the time. And I'm not sure what am I doing wrong. I went to see my doctor and she just told me it's normal and there's nothing wrong with my blood results and there's nothing they can do for me. To some women, it can feel they're dismissed because they're way too young. So if you are feeling you are way too young to be perimenopausal, then I need to tell you that the average age of women in a Western country to go through menopause is 51. And we know that the first symptoms of perimenopause, it is really subjective. So every woman will go through perimenopause and menopause in different ways. But it's about 7 to 10 years prior you're actually going through menopause. And we do know about menopause because we've heard people talking about it. But why all of a sudden we are talking about perimenopause? And the funniest thing is that I've seen people commenting on my post, women commenting on my post saying perimenopause is not a thing. It is not a thing. It's never been a thing. Why all of a sudden is there are there people talking about it and selling their products is just to make a sale on a woman? And my understanding to that is yes, there are a lot of products that are not beneficial to women's health, and I'm not providing you with any recommendations or any, I'm just gonna admit someone, or any selling of products or recommendations or not selling them or not buying them. But what am I saying is that perimenopause as such a thing is actually the whole time since your ovaries are beginning their decline and production of progesterone and estrogen. So, and that moment when we see that beginning of a decline, we are talking about perimenopause and menopause. And at that time, it might not be visible on blood tests. We might not be able to see it because those levels are going up and down, up and down, up and down. So you would really have to be really specific and really punctual about when you're getting the blood test done, when you are looking into having them, when you are drawing the blood, what are the consequences around that? And that moment, if you're not doing it consistently enough, you wouldn't be able to say, yes, she is in perimenopause. So when we talk about menopause, menopause is one day of your life. And we have so much information about that one day in our life. That is the one day that marks 12 months since your last period. So that is menopause. Menopause is a one day in your life. So everything else is either perimenopause, so that's the time before your menopause, before you actually haven't had a period for one day for 12 months in your life, and that's the one day. And everything else is postmenopause. But I'm not here to lecture about what are the right terms, but I'm here to tell you that those 10 years that an average woman go through will be experiencing several symptoms. We can now link over 50 different symptoms to perimenopause. And that some of the symptoms might be funny, crawling skin or itchy ears or burning tongue or funny smells, because that's how much our body is affected by a loss of estrogen. If you can all of a sudden just smell something burning, but there's nothing burning, that is already a sign that you might be in perimenopause. But the most visible signs are us gaining weight, especially in the abdominal area, us not being able to sleep, us all of a sudden having sore joints, us all of a sudden couldn't say what we want to say, couldn't articulate our words, using different words for things that we actually never even wanted to use. And we are going crazy thinking, what the hell is wrong with me? Can't sleep. Is that asleep? Is that what is happening? And that's because the minute when your ovaries are declining the production of estrogen and progesterone, that minute your whole body is feeling that effect. And because estrogen, as we don't really talk about it, but it's such an important hormone. It's more important in our body than insulin. It is crazy. Yes, high levels of glucose in our blood can kill us. That's why, we have to have functional pancreas. We have to be on insulin if we do not have a functioning pancreas. And we do know about that. But a lack of estrogen in our body, it's not going to kill us, but it's going to make our life so miserable. And it's because estrogen plays a role in over 30 functions in our body. It is important element in a function of our brain, in a function of our liver, in a function of our skin, in a function of our pancreas, in a function of our gut, in our heart, in our veins, in our capillaries, in our nerves, in our bones, in our muscles. So yes, women haven't been really receiving the help when it comes to perimenopause and menopause before, because first of all, we couldn't understand what is actually happening to women's body. What are actually the effects of women going and losing the ability to produce a vital hormone that helps her to create not just life when she's still fertile, but also a hormone that plays a role in every vital organ in your body. And that is why we talk about it now, because first, in about 100 years, women are living significantly longer. We are living till we are 70, till we are 80, till we're 90. But the longevity, it's not meeting the health that we need to live a great life. So we are living longer, but our health, it's not better. We are not healthier longer. And we can see women in their 50s, 60s, really struggling in their life with feeling active, feeling happy in their body, just slowing down, feeling like there's something wrong, and not being able to put a finger on that. What is actually happening to your body? So welcome in the chaos. That's what I like to say. Welcome in the chaos of perimenopause. Once you go through menopause, you know that your ovaries are working. And that moment, a majority of general practitioners will start talking to you. They will start talking to you about, yes, you are in postmenopausal, so you may or you may not go on a hormone replacement therapy to help your body adjust. But you already needed the adjustment the 5 to 10 years before that. And I'm not saying that everyone does. I'm not in here to provide you my opinion about hormone replacement therapy. I'm here to provide you unbiased information about whether it is safe for you to use hormone replacement therapy, whether you are candidate for hormone replacement therapy, or what are the other things that you need to do. How many women do you know in your life that would be feeling, gaining weight, not feeling like themselves, or breaking their bones, falling in their 70s because their bones are so fragile, breaking their pelvis? How many women do we know in our life that we are just afraid that our mothers or grandmothers will have a fall and they will break their pelvis because their bones are so fragile? And the importance of that is that because we didn't have the knowledge how much estrogen actually plays a role in our bone health. It is a significant element in us to actually create healthy and strong bones. And if we do not have estrogen in our body, it is really hard for our bones to stay strong, for our muscles to stay active, for our brain to function well. Loss of estrogen is linked to dementia in women over 50 years old. Loss of estrogen is linked to elevated levels of cortisol, the LDL cortisol in your bloodstream. We can now link, and that's the first thing that we can actually do, is we can now link beginning of perimenopause to inclining, so increasing levels of cholesterol in our bloodstream. Because estrogen is a hormone that is built out of LDL cholesterol cells. No, it's not cells, sorry, particles. So when your body is not creating enough, there are these extra particles of LDL cholesterol that floating around in your bloodstream that have no use. So therefore, there is increase of cholesterol in your blood sugar, in your bloodstream. Your pancreas is becoming a little bit more lazy because estrogen is not helping it to communicate. Your gut health is changing because your microbiome is changing because estrogen is not presented in those ways in your bloodstream. But I want to give a little more of understanding what is actually happening because your body is absolutely incredible in finding ways how to survive. And that's the number one thing that women tell me is that they are beginning to create this cushion around their abdominal area. And they haven't changed their diet. They haven't stopped exercising. They haven't done anything wrong. But all of a sudden, their waistlines begin to increase no matter what. And that is because our body knows really well that it cannot live life without estrogen in your body. But your ovaries will only produce estrogen until there are eggs in your ovaries, until there are actually eggs in your follicles that will be stimulated for the releasing of the egg. When there are no eggs left, or when they are so low quality that it takes for your body to literally stimulate so much that is not even possible for them to be released in your blood, in your over. Oh my God, what am I saying today? Am I in perimenopause? Probably. Uh, in your uterus. Then at that moment, your body is starting to feel the need to start creating an estrogen-like hormone, so estriol. So that is a hormone that is not creating in adrenals. That is not a hormone that is creating any other hormonal active tissue in our body. But it is a hormone that is created in the visceral fat. So visceral fat is the fat that is hormonally active fat that grows in our abdominal area. And because your body cannot live without estrogen, and it can produce its own estrogen in the adrenals, but if your adrenals, which are two walnut-sized organs just lying above your kidneys, if they are preoccupied with actually creating adrenaline because you drink a lot of coffee, or if they are preoccupied with creating a lot of cortisol because you live in constant rush and stress, that rushing woman syndrome, if your thyroid is underactive because your progesterone levels are low, if your liver is underactive because there is so much that it needs to deal with every single day, there's no way that the need for your estrogen for every single day will be covered by those two beautiful organs, your adrenals. Your body produces when you are in a fertile years about 200 micrograms of 200 units of estrogen every single day. Your adrenals are able and capable of producing about 30 to 50. So there is a need for more. And if your adrenals are not able to even produce that little, your body needs to find a way how to do it. And what it does is it seeks the need to create this hormonally active tissue, which is so incredible, but also with increasing levels of fat around our abdominal area, which is not a white fat that is the same fat as it under your skin, but it's brown fat that is hormonal active. It acts like another organ in your body. At that moment, your body becomes also more inflamed. So that we can just to meet the demand for the estrogen that your body needs, your brain needs, your bones needs, your heart needs, your gut needs. Every single organ in your body needs estrogen to function. So if you're not getting it through your ovaries, if you're not getting it through your adrenals, your body needs to find a way how. So what we need to do is help your body to create more estrogen or provide estrogen in other ways, like hormonal replacement therapy. So hormonal replacement therapy is something I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But right now, I really want to tell you, the reason why you're gaining all the weight in the abdominal area is not because you are becoming lazy and you are eating like a pig. It's literally, it's a call of your body to help you provide a life important element, a hormone to help you to survive a little bit longer. But with that, because your body is creating so much more of that fat, it puts so much stress on your metabolism. It puts a lot of stress on your liver, a lot of stress on your kidneys. And what it does, it slows down your metabolism, slow down your metabolism, how much your body burns calories every single day. It increases the inflammation, and therefore you can see the increase of cortisol levels. You can see the increase of adrenaline levels. You can see the increase of inflammation as a whole body inflammation in every other tissue. So we see a decreasing levels of gut functioning. We see a changing gut microbiome because there is so much of inflammation happening that your body is producing more of the bad bacteria that it cause the bloating, that cause IBS-like symptoms, that slows down digestion, that slows down the motility of your bowels. So that creates the extra pressure on your digestive system. And that moment, your body might experience not just bloating, but you will feel there's a lot of water retention because that's how your body fights the inflammation. You may see that your limbs are getting more congested, so you are retaining more water in your limbs, in your legs, so they can become more puffy at the end of the day. Your joints become more sore because there is increase of inflammatory markers in your body, and they have to go somewhere, and they usually go into tendons, they usually go into joints. Then we also can see that it's harder for us to function because our blood sugar levels are going up and down because insulin is not responding the way we need to. We also can see a difficulty of actually dealing with day-to-day situations, like we are more on the edge because our levels of sugar and adrenaline are constantly battling themselves because your body is trying to survive and is in survival mode. And we need to look at the body as a really well functioning element, really well functioning organ, one thing that leads to another. And if we are thinking that just our ovaries are giving away, it's a normal thing. It is a normal thing, it's a natural thing, but it will affect every single organ in your body. It will affect everything from your bones to your brain. And your body is trying to find a way how to survive. And if that's through pushing a lot of adrenaline because your blood sugar levels are through the roof, because your pancreas is not working really well, because you are tired, because you can't sleep, because you're overstimulated, your body is decreasing the production of melatonin, which is a hormone that is actually helping you to sleep, and increasing your production of cortisol, which is the hormone that's helping you to keep you awake. That's why it's so hard for you to fall asleep at night, but you're already awake at 2 o'clock in the morning because your body starts pumping adrenaline in the middle of the night. And the cortisol levels that we are trying to bring down are so high that they literally keep us on the alert every single day, needing to drive us to more sugar. Because when we are in a survival mode, survival response of your body, you will not just feel wired and anxious and all over the place. You will feel that feeling like there's a pressure behind your eyes. Your vision may be blurry because there is elevated amounts of sugar in your bloodstream that all keeping your body inflamed. But also there is a need for your body to keep driving the cortisol levels up. And when you're feeling constant up and down, feeding it with coffee just to survive because you haven't slept through the night, you're pumping more adrenaline into your bloodstream. Every single time you drink a coffee, you pump up adrenaline into your blood because that's how your adrenals respond to caffeine. When you pump adrenaline, your body has to meet up with enough of sugar. So there goes your cravings for sugar. So you are constantly living between, I'm so tired, I need coffee. I'm so pumped up, I'm so tired, I need sugar or coffee or both. And when we do that, we constantly drive our body into overstimulation, into a survival response. And that is not just to keep you alive, but it is literally keep your body from ticking. So when our ovaries go out, we feel the effects of perimenopause in all over our body. And what we do is we literally are trying to survive. So how does it affect our metabolism? Not because everything is directed in here in your hypothalamus, in your brain. That sends signals into creating more hormones stimulating your ovaries to create more estrogen. because the eggs are not being released. So it's trying to pump more, trying to keep it active, trying to keep it alive. So it's creating more demand for that. And we know that estrogen is a beautiful hormone that helps us grow, but it is a growth hormone. It is a hormone that is also in high levels, highly inflammatory. So when our brain tells us the ovaries are not responding, we need more estrogen, it sends more follicle stimulating hormone to stimulate our ovaries to produce more and more estrogen so we can ovulate. And if there's no egg, or if the eggs are really low quality, the amount of progesterone that is creating a release out of the ovary after ovulation, after releasing the egg, it's not meeting the standards of the estrogen. And that's when we talk about estrogen dominance. And that's when we see the changes in a period. We see heavy periods with a lot of clots. We see swollen breasts, so tender. We see so much anxiety. We see differences in, periods are really unstable. One month it's 25 days, another month it's 43 days. We see really inconsistent periods in there. And when you go see your doctor, they tell you, oh, it's probably normal. You just need to track it better, or it's probably normal. It's a period. You are still in period. This has nothing to do with perimenopause. It has because your ovaries are dying. So it's sending you into overproduction of estrogen and into disbalance in those two elements. Because progesterone is the one that is protecting your uterus. It's protecting the lining from growing too much. Because that's why when you're in estrogen dominance, we have so much blood coming out of us. And when we're losing blood, we're losing iron. Iron makes us tired, and not enough iron makes us anemic. It can make us tired, but also will impact our metabolism and impact our sleep, impact our nerve system. And I see, women tell me the minute when my period come, it's like someone lifted the veil out of me and I'm happy again for about 5 to 7 days before my body starts pumping the estrogen up again. So it's the huge changes in the mood that are going through the cycle up until menopause. So what is happening to you, whether you are or you are not in perimenopause, can all be changed by listening to your body and actually looking at the problem not by symptoms, but holistically. Am I sleeping well? Am I not in a pain? Am I not bloated? Is everything taking well, but my periods are heavy? You may be naturally estrogen dominant, and that might be a need to supporting the liver. Am I actually experiencing some of these things? Is it harder for me to fall asleep? Is it harder for me to stay awake through the day? Do I have these crashes of mood? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel some other 50 different symptoms of perimenopause? Or am I just burned out? Because the minute when your hypothalamus start producing more and more estrogen, it will send a lot of pressure on your thyroid. And then also another one in there is your liver. Another one is your ovaries. Another one is your pancreas. So they all affect each other and they will not be communicating together in a one way. So when you have to think of it as an axis, and if one thing is out of whack, all of them are out of the whack. So when I see women in my clinic, when I see women in my private practice or in one of my courses, they all say, I have no idea what is actually happening to my body. Why am I feeling all these things? And no one believes me. No one tells me what to do. They just tell me either get on with it or they will offer me a medication for anxiety, medication for IBS, medication to improve bone density, medication to Mirena, so that's hormonal contraception to manage periods. They will give me a medication for my high level of cholesterol. They will give me medication to support my insulin. They will give me medication for palpitations and for supporting my heart. They can give me some other medications or iron to help me with low anemia, with low iron. But no one tells me it's problem of perimenopause. It's problem that your ovaries are dying and we need to support your body in managing that. So why are we giving out six to 10 different medications. What the one thing we can do is look at lifestyle, look at what are the things that actually are putting a pressure on your adrenals, on your thyroid, on your liver. What are the things that woman is doing in her life? Is she training 5 hours a day? Is she doing high intensity classes every single day? Is she having a breakfast or is she starting her day with a coffee and then running through the day crazy? Because we are women. And unfortunately, we are entering perimenopause in the time when we are probably the busiest in our life, when we just have, grown up enough kids to go to school, so we have to rush around them all the time. We are going back into our careers. We feel the pressure of life. We also might feel the pressure of our love life because we are not wanting to be with our partner in the same way. And it's not that he doesn't attract us anymore. It's just because you don't feel it. It's like it's dead. Nothing is there. And I see the woman telling me, it's like, I don't even feel attracted anymore to anything. And they feel so ashamed. And I say, it is normal. It is normal, but it is not how it could be. It is not something. So why are we as women not getting that care that we need to actually someone say, hey, Mandy, what you're experiencing is possibly perimenopause, because as I said, we cannot determine perimenopause by any test right now. We don't have any way to determine and say, like you determine that you have, I don't know, Crohn's disease or you have diabetes. We cannot determine that through a test. We can only go and say, by these symptoms, you are most likely experiencing perimenopause. We need to look at how much stress you have in your life and how we can support you in that stress. What are the things that you can do? What diet are you on? Are you still on keto? Are you fasting? Are you eating? Are you eating enough? Where are you metabolically? Are you dieting? Have you been dieting last 5 years? Have you been dieting in the last 5 months? How's your thyroid? Is it working? Is it not working? How are you supporting your body to actually create dopamine, endorphin, melatonin? Can we help you with that? And also, can we help your ovaries to pick up some slack? And can we either get you on progesterone? Because the progesterone is the first hormone to go. Because when we know ovulating, we are not creating progesterone. And that's when, even with declining amounts of estrogen from your ovaries, you will feel the effects of estrogen dominance, even though your estrogen might be so much lower, because you're not creating any progesterone. Progesterone is the hormone that helps you sleep, helps you to feel calm, helps you to feel on top of things, helps you to feel like you have all the five ducks in a row. When the progesterone goes out, that's when the anxiety goes haywire. That's when you are so bloated. That's when you can't sleep. That's when you're doing crazy bad shit thing and you don't even know why. That's where your weight gain starts in your buttock area, because that's where progesterone drives the weight gain, because it's trying to keep you more fertile. So lack of progesterone will make your body to store fat in the fertility area. So that's mainly your thighs, your buttocks, and your breast. When we see the decline of estrogen, that's where we see the increase of visceral fat. That is actually the fat that is not aesthetic fat. That is not a problem of how we look or how we don't look. It is a fat that affects our everyday living. It is a fat that affects us into whether we are metabolizing things right, whether we are able and capable of burning fat, whether we are stressing our body so much that we're going to have a heart attack when we are 50, whether we're going to have a dementia when we are 60, whether we are going to be able to get up off the chair when we are 70 because our muscles will deteriorate so much that we will have no muscle tissue. And when I'm talking to women, they say, well, what can I do? I need to lose weight. Whatever you told me right now, I can understand my body is in estrogen dominance or estrogen decrease. My body is inflamed, my body is in stress. I'm not eating enough, but I need to lose weight. So what is the best diet for me to be on? And in that moment, we need to switch and then we need to start understanding that in perimenopause and menopause, metabolism changes because your estrogen levels are changing. And whether you choose to go on hormone replacement therapy, which will help you to protect your heart, which will help you to protect your brain, protect your lungs, protect your skin, it will help you because it will literally replace what your body cannot create anymore. And that's why I'm saying there are so many disinformations about hormone replacement therapy because back in the day, hormone replacement therapy was chemically made hormone. Now we are providing bioidentical hormone. So that is the same one as your body is creating. Your body cannot say the difference. And when I say women come to me and say, but I'm afraid to go on HRT because I've heard stories that it can drive breast cancer, it can drive cervical cancer. There are contraindications, and I'm not here to tell you whether you can or you can't. There is a certain percentage of women, which would be about zero point 0.3 in the world, that cannot be on HRT, on hormone replacement therapy. But whether you are in those zero point 0.3 or 1% in the world is for your doctor to determine that. And when woman tells me I'm so afraid to go on hormone replacement therapy, and I ask them, have you been on um, contraceptive pills in your life? And they tell me all of them. Oh my God, there is 1 out of 100 that will tell me that she wasn't. Yes, I've had Mirena, I've had pill my whole life. The dosage in that contraceptive pill, which is chemically made, it's not bioidentical progesterone and estrogen, are 10 to 20 times higher than you are receiving in a form of bioidentical estrogen and progesterone in a hormone replacement therapy. So if there is a damage, we do know about the damage from contraception pills. We do know about the risk. We do know about the side effects. But women would rather go and take contraceptive pill because it's been talked about. And there is no taboo around that when it comes to talking to a doctor. Because you go to a doctor when you are 20 and say, I'm sexually active, I don't want to be pregnant. They will prescribe you that because why not? You will go there as 45-year-old woman and say, I'm in perimenopause, I think I'll need HRT. And they will tell you, well, that can be dangerous for you because not because they would want to harm you, but because they have no information. They have no understanding about hormone replacement therapy because they weren't trained. So it's not their fault. They haven't been trained. And that's the problem because we are not having enough information about menopause and perimenopause in health practitioners. I had to do another couple of years of study in women's health and women's hormones to be able to understand what is going on. No one would pay me to do that. I had to do it by myself. And I know there are incredible doctors out in here that will be helping you with hormone replacement therapy and with the perimenopausal transition. But majority of them, unfortunately, whether they want to or not, they do not have the knowledge to help you. So you need to be an advocate for yourself as much as you can. And if you're not being heard by your doctor, go to the second one, go to the third one. Don't let them dismiss you. And you need to be able to receive information that is unbiased and that provides you with enough of information, enough of info that you can make an informed decision about whether you are wanting to go on HRT or not. You are always there to choose whether you want to take ibuprofen or not. But you shouldn't be sold the benefits of HRT, and you shouldn't be denied because you're not fitting into the age group that was meant to be. We know that now there's so many more studies. So if you want to have some studies, I can definitely send you some links for them. But we now know that the biggest benefits of being on HRT is about 5 years prior to your menopause, to about 7 years past your menopause. And that's because it helps to build bone tissue, bone marrow, no marrow, bone density. It helps you to build and sustain and contain muscle tissue. So it prevents sarcopenia, it prevents osteopenia, it prevents osteoporosis, which are three things, diseases that we cannot see because they don't hurt. Not until you snap your bone, no one will tell you, oh, your bones are so weak. And why? Because all of you be doing since perimenopause was trying to lose weight. How do we lose weight? By cutting down food, increasing exercise, which is usually a high intensity cardio exercise. So I'm not saying that high intensity cardio exercise is not good for you. It is great and I recommend it to everyone, but you need to be looking at if I'm depriving myself food that helps me to build healthy muscle tissue, helps my body to work well, provides me with nutrients that I cannot get anywhere else just in food. It's going to have a negative impact on my body. I'm going to lose muscle mass. I'm going to lose a bone tissue just because I'm trying to lose weight. So when you are focusing on a fat loss in a perimenopause and menopause, what you need to do is providing your body with, first of all, enough of anti-inflammatory food that'll help your body to fight the inflammation. You need to provide your body with stress relief and with balancing your hormones. And when I say balancing your hormones, it's not just like you're gonna eat this or that, but your lifestyle have to meet your needs. So if you're stressed out from morning to the evening and you're going to be on a restrictive diet, it's going to stress your body even more. So first you need to make sure that whatever you're eating and doing and drinking in the day is giving your body enough of fighting power to calm down that cortisol response, to allow your body create more estrogen in its own ways, to allow your body produce and metabolize empty estrogen cells, so prevent estrogen dominance in your body. You need to allow your body to function well and function optimally. So if you are constantly eating and not eating and eating and not eating, skipping meals and drinking coffee and craving and then binging, it puts your body in such a metabolic stress that you will feel the effects of perimenopause in 3, 4, 5 times higher levels than a woman who would be intuitively eating with her body, allowing her body to naturally go through that phase and supporting in a way that feels good. So if you're pushing yourself every single day just because you feel like you need to lose weight, I've seen women that came to me and says, I've been on a diet last 2 years. I've been eating 700 calories a day and I've gained 15 kilos in those 2 years. And I go, yeah, it's not uncommon. Yeah. How did it make you feel? What did you do? I just did whatever someone told me to do, but obviously it didn't work. So when we looked at that, first of all, she was starving herself, so her body was protecting herself. Second of all, because her body was feeling deprived, immediately it went in to create more tissue in the abdominal area, slow down the metabolism, released muscle tissue. And if there is one thing I can guarantee you is that right now I will do anything in my life to protect losing muscles. Because once you reach 40, it is pretty hard to build a new muscle tissue. Really hard. You would have to be in a gym every single day doing heavy lifting. So maintaining muscle tissue and maintaining my body in a way that I'm not eating my own muscles when I want to lose fat is number one priority because I want to be able to get up of the chair when I'm 70. I want to be able to go for a walk. And if I don't have the muscles, I won't build them back then. I won't be able to build my own muscles. I won't be able to go and shit, my bone just snapped because I was depriving myself for 10 years trying to lose weight and I didn't eat enough to protect my bones. And I didn't have enough energy to exercise. So I was starving myself and my body deteriorated. So that is the number one thing that I need to tell you that is so important is you need to, in perimenopause and menopause, you need to look differently at what we can do for our body. Because right now we've been pushing our body so much and our body just responded with, yeah, I got you, girl. You know, for 10, 20 years, you didn't even know that you were doing something. You could survive on 2 hours of sleep and not even think that there is something wrong. You know, it's like, oh, I'll just sleep tomorrow. I'll be fine. In your 30s, you started to experience the first, oh, I probably need a good sleep in today. Or you had a little bit more to drink and you still have a hangover 2 days later. In your 40s, you have one glass of wine and you don't sleep for 2 days. So do you think that is just a coincidence or is every woman actually experiencing that? I'm telling you, I'm 40 this year. I had one glass of wine and I couldn't sleep the whole night. And I'm not the only one. Everyone tells me the same thing. I can't drink like I used to. If I drink, I choose to not to sleep. And that is something that I tell my clients. It's not about always eating fruit and vegetables. I eat cakes, I eat chocolate, I eat all these things that makes me feel good, makes me, gives me pleasure. But it's about knowing that I'm eating enough to support my body, that I'm eating enough anti-inflammatory food to help my body to fight the inflammation that is caused by lack of oxygen, lack of estrogen in my blood, in my body. I know that I'm doing enough of training that helps my body keep strong, and I'm not obsessing 3 hours a day in a gym. I'm go to the gym once or twice a week to do some good heavy lifting so that I protect my body. And if I'm not a gym person, there are so many other ways how we can keep being active and protect your muscles, protect your bones, and protect your things. Then we need to be looking as, are you in a cortisol dominance? Are you in estrogen dominance? Are you in adrenaline dominance? Where are you doing? How many coffees you're drinking? What are you doing the first thing in the morning? And there are so many things you can do. And I see women changing in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They said, I've been bloated since 3 years ago. Every single day bloat, can't sleep. In 2 weeks, just because we changed what they eat in a day and not being obsessed about what they're eating, but increasing the anti-inflammatory matter of their diet, decreasing some of the coffee from 10 coffees to 3 in a day. That actually made them feel so much better in their body, having more energy to go through the day, no up and down crazy crashes, much better sleep, better digestion. And that's everything just with small, tiny changes to their body and to their diet and nutrition and lifestyle. But you need to first start thinking about your body in different way. It's just about knowing that when you're gonna be pushing your body, your body starts pushing back. In your 50s, you will feel it. You will feel your bones sore, you will feel your joints sore if you're not gonna do anything about that. And I don't want to get to 50 when I say I'm at the end of my active life. I want to be in my 50, my 60, saying, well, let's go on a hike. Let's go do these things. And it's not about obsessing and not having a clean diet. It's about knowing what your body needs and how you can support it and what you can give it to provide it the best possible outcome in the years to come. So yes, there are lucky, I want to say lucky women. There are women that never been dieting in their whole life. They are really intuitive with their body and they experience really nearly to none symptoms when it goes through menopause or perimenopause because they are intuitive with their body and they know what their body needs. It's not that they have lucky genes. We all go through the same thing, through the same way. We all go through hundreds of units of estrogen into zero. So that's not genetics. That's not anything. It's really a lifestyle. And then having a good knowledge and understanding and someone who supports you on the hormone replacement therapy, whether it is something that you can go, you can do, and you can be. So right now I want to ask you, do you have any questions? Do you have anything that I haven't covered? Anything that specifically you want to ask? Just put them in a chat if you can, or if you don't, that's okay. So I'll just give you a minute. Perimenopause is just one big confusing thing. What types of food are inflammatory? So what I'm talking about is anti-inflammatory food, but we can talk about inflammatory food as well. So I'll give you an understanding and example of both. So inflammatory foods are food that increase the response of our body and needs to kind of detoxify. So it really raises the level of blood sugar in our bloodstream. So it will be a lot of sugar, a lot of like preservatives and artificial sweeteners, something that your body is not naturally able and capable of dealing with it, and it really needs to engage a lot of liver and a lot of kidneys and a lot of detoxification process in your body to do that. But naturally, our body, just by literally breathing, increasing in inflammation. So when we breathe, we produce toxins. When we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out CO2. So our body has ways of detoxifying our body, because if we would not breathe out CO2, we would die. So that's the same way. When every single time when you eat something, your body breaks the food down into molecules, into matter that is helpful to your body, that is accessible to your body, that supports you in energetically or in building material or as an anti-inflammatory marker. It helps to build hormones, it helps to protect lining, helps to build cells, helps to create hormones or um, um, immunity. And that is when you eat food. So there are foods that will be inflammatory and anti-inflammatory. The anti-inflammatory foods are food that have a high level of anti-inflammatory markers. So that would be fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds, extra virgin olive oil, everything that is beneficial to our body, that has a high levels of vitamins, minerals, or omega-3s and omega-6s. So these are all foods that are anti-inflammatory and that our body using to not just fight the inflammation, but supports our organs into providing elements necessary to detoxify our body, to create, to like, if you think that you will breathe, you will eat something that breaks down and creates a waste in your body. So that waste go through your gut and through your bloodstream to your liver, and the liver has to pair that waste with something else, which is usually the anti-inflammatory marker. So it could be a mineral, it could be a hormone, it could be enzyme, it could be something else that pairs it together, and then that completes the detoxification process, and they can go and pass through detoxification pathways, which is either your kidneys, your bowel, your skin, or your lungs, and allow it and release this out of your body. But if we do not have the things to pair the waste with, they keep circulating in our blood, in our body, until our liver can pair them with something. So that's what we say. We can increase the inflammation in our body, not necessarily by eating more, just but because we do not have and eat enough of anti-inflammatory food in our diet, which is food that is high in vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin B. So all the fruits, vegetables, high in fiber, high in vitamin C, high in magnesium, high in calcium to build our bones, and also food that is high in healthy oils, so fatty fish, flax seeds, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, all the seeds and nuts, and extra virgin olive oil. So that answer your question? Great. So the another question was, what types of HRT are available to New Zealand and how to access it? So HRT is hormone replacement therapy, or hormone therapy is a therapy that goes through your general practitioner. So you always have to go and talk to your general practitioner or your OBGYN or your woman's health doctor. And we have access to two types of hormonal replacement therapy, which is in a form of patches or form of a gel. And they both are estradiol, so they are the same bioidentical versions of estrogen. It's just different brand. It just depends on what company made them. And we also have access to progesterone, which is usually in a form of tablet or in a form of Mirena, so IUD. Or it can be Skyla, I think is the another one. Is it Skyla or something like that? So you need to be, based on your symptoms, you will be determined of what type of hormone replacement therapy you prefer, whether you want to prefer patches, whether you want to use gel, and then you will start on dosage that is equivalent to how far you are in your perimenopause journey. If you went through hysterectomy, that's going to be different than if you just starting perimenopause, then you'll be on the lowest dosage. If you're already approaching menopause, you'll be on the higher dosage to replace that lack of estrogen and progesterone. When you are taking estrogen, you can take at the beginning, you can take estrogen vaginally. So that's the estrogen. So that is our estrogen that helps when, and it's usually prescribed to women who have reoccurring UTIs or prolapse, or there is some problem that is just locally in the vagina, in the area, because that is estrogen that just works locally and doesn't really enter the bloodstream and doesn't is not cyclic estrogen. When we talk about gel, when we talk about patches, it's cyclic estrogen. So that's why it affects every single cell in our body. And that's what we want because estrogen is generally affecting every single in our body. But that is all determined by your general practitioner or your OBGYN. And you should be able to get help and then reassess in about a month time whether you need to change the dosage and how it works for you. Usually the changes are seen pretty fast. And when you're on estrogen that is cyclical, so that means it goes through your body, but whether it's the gel, whether it's the patches, you need to be on a progesterone to protect if you have uterus, to protect your uterine lining and protect your organs because that kind of counteracts, as I was telling you, there are two hormones that work together, and you need to be able to have both. Unless you have hysterectomy, have had hysterectomy, then you might be only on estrogen alone. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? No. So whether you are listening from replay and you have questions, please do not be afraid to ask. And I said that by at the end of this webinar, I'll be giving you out a code, a discount code to for 50% off your first consultation. So if you are wondering what the code is, and you want to book yourself a consultation where we're gonna go through your symptoms, when we're gonna go through your health, through your lifestyle, and I'm gonna help you not just understand what is going on, but create a plan and how we can help you to feel better and help you to manage and heal the symptoms, help you to create the changes, sleep through the night, decrease the inflammation, feel like yourself again, lose the weight, or just increase, the health and improve the health for the years to come, that you have a chance to receive this consultation with 50% discount. And if you use the code TALK at the checkout, just at my website, I'll be sending it all through the email as well. So you will have access to that. You will also have the access to replay for the next 7 days. So go and rewatch it if you need to. If there is something that I missed, definitely ask, and I'll be helping you to hopefully get better and feel better in your beautiful menopausal journey, because it's not about life ending. It's just about changing a little bit and then thriving again. So thank you very much for being in here. Hope it helped. And I can't wait to see you soon.
Thank you.
You're really welcome.